All right, hello everyone to another episode of Saturday Cup of Joe with Lim. I am all the way here in Fort Smith, Arkansas. I drove 4.5 hours just to go prom dress shopping for my daughter. That's dedication, let me tell you. And that's a very important time in her life. First, she said she didn't want to go. Then she said she did. So this week, we're going to be looking for things here in Arkansas. And then next week, if she doesn't find anything today, we'll go back to Dallas. And who knows where we're going to go after that. But I just wanted to say hello to everyone. And Bill, can you unmute yourself?
Good morning.
And there's our co-host, Bill Walsh, y'all. He made it right on the dime. So we have some exciting things today we want to share with you. And today we're going to talk about sweet stuff, about sweets and sweet business. And it's all going to come from a sweet lady. All right. First, one thing I want to mention to you guys is I hope you are having a great week. And I hope next week is also as well going to be awesome for you. No matter what you're going through, just smile and keep going. And today, I'm sure that the lady that we bring on is going to bring a lot of special things for you guys. So with that being said, we're going to bring on our celebrity. Amelia, come on.
Celebrity, wow.
Yes, you have celebrity status. I figured that out, and I found that out, and I'm like, wow. So what's going on?
Oh, not too much. It's really interesting. My husband, Bobby, tells me all the time, hey, you're famous, and I just say, you know what? It may be in the cake industry, but, if you can walk down the street and nobody recognizes who you are, I don't think you can consider that famous, right? I don't know.
Hey, trust me, that's coming real soon. People are going to recognize you and know you everywhere. They're going to say, hey, I know you. Awesome. So since everyone is kind of going, why is he calling her a celebrity? Tell us a little bit of because let me start over. We all met at the Vid Summit last year, which was awesome. And I was really, really, I was like surprised of your story. And I was like, oh my God, you've been on Food Network.
At the burger place, keep in mind.
Yeah, that was really fun meeting at Vid Summit. That was just such a fun experience. So I started cake decorating about 14 years ago now, and I started out kind of as an accident, really. My aunt was making a wedding cake for my sister. And I went in and I was just watching her do little doodles and stuff. And I said, hey, I do that little doodle, she had a piping bag and she was piping out these little squiggles. And I, said, well, I do that on paper in my science class when I'm bored, And so she said, oh, well, grab a piping bag and start going at this cake. And I just said, no. I'm not touching a wedding cake. This is no, thank you. And she insisted. She said, I'm behind. Go ahead and grab a bag. And so I piped the top tier of my sister's wedding cake. And that was the start of it all.
Wow, nothing is an accident when you have talent like that. Trust me, it all plays in the game of life. I know you probably think it's an accident, but you were meant to do that.
I do kind of agree with that. I really do. I went on to take some classes, and then I taught some classes, and then I heard about this competition that I thought, oh, that would be really fun to see where I stack up among other cake decorators. And we talked about this competition like it was like going to be this big deal. And I went and I made the most amazing cake I knew how to make at that time and took it to this competition. And the competition was so small. I was the only entry in my category. And so I, of course, won the category, and then I won the best of show. And so after that, I was like, I've got to try something bigger. So I went and I did the national cake decorating competition.
Woo, you got out of your comfort zone on that one.
Go big or go home, right?
That's interesting you say that because you having that talent, and there's a lot of people that are out there who has a lot of talent, and I know yourself right now with loads of that. They would have never thought of probably taking that to the national level because it's almost scary to think, okay, I'm putting myself out there, and then you start doubting yourself. Am I that good? I mean, who supported you moving forward with all that?
My husband Bobby has been huge support to me. He's always been the one that says, yeah, do it, go do it. He's so supportive, and my parents too. They've really always been. We were poor college students at the time, couldn't afford to. Because it costs a lot to make a cake of that, level, to win a national award, and to get out to the competition. And we were poor college students, really crazy low budget. My parents paid for the whole trip, the whole thing. So yeah, just tons of support everywhere around me. So it's been really, really good that way to know that I have people behind me.
That's awesome. Tell us about how many children you have, because I thought I was doing good. I have 4 myself, but when I heard you, I was like, whoa, okay.
I have 6 kids. I have 5 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, that poor baby girl. Wow.
Well, I don't know if you can call her a poor baby girl because she is so spoiled. She is the little princess. And yeah, she knows it too.
Oh my goodness. So let us know, how do you manage to do business and take care of a household of 7? Because we're going to call Bobby a baby too as well, because I'm sure he has his days. Hey Bobby, how you doing, brother? I'm glad I met you. Anyway, how do you do it?
He would be laughing at that too.
That's funny.
It is a juggling act. It really is. There are times where I just think, you know what, right now I need to take a break. I need to take care of my family. But for the most part, if you can do just a little bit here and a little bit there, it's all about, I don't know, prioritizing your time. So a lot of people think that, I must be a Wonder Woman to do it all. I'm not. I'm just a regular person, just like everybody else. It's something that, I don't know. I don't know. I might put on a face that I'm perfect, but I'm so not. My house is constantly a disaster. I've got boys. They don't clean. And it's just this constant battle of, what do I need to do right now to improve both home and work life. So it definitely is a balancing act.
I would say so.
I got a lot of friends, and these dudes are just sloppy. And I can imagine 4 boys with their rooms, even if they're sharing rooms, how it looks right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about boys, but they sure don't think that cleaning is a priority. But we're working on it. I'm hoping to raise some boys that have better cleaning habits. I guess I tell them you gotta learn how to do all this stuff because your wife's not gonna put up with this.
and I heard that all my life, and I didn't get it until now. And I'm like, oh, they were right, Oh my goodness. So let's talk a little bit about your cake business. Cake Fu. I love that name. What did you come up with that?
Well, you know what? I am not the genius with words, so it was not actually my idea. My brother-in-law is my business partner. A lot of people online doing internet stuff will know who he is. His name is Mike Lance. He owns Warrior Plex.
What? I totally forgot about that.
Wow.
Wow. See, you never know who you shake hands with, Bill. You never know.
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness. Are you...
So.
I cannot believe that. Wow. That's
Intense.
awesome stuff. Yeah, that's intense. That is so awesome. Anyway, keep going.
Keep going. He's my brother-in-law.
So yeah, you came up with the name, and then all of a sudden, did you start pursuing more, spreading your business on the internet, or was it just still locally? How did that all come around?
Well, Cake Fu actually was not my my local business name. I actually did cakes locally for clients and for about 4 years. And under a different name. Cake Fu actually came around because I kind of wanted to do something online. Being Mike's sister-in-law, he would always talk about how online is where it's at. You need to start teaching, start doing stuff online. Because if you can make something online one time, then that's out there, and it's repetitive. It's always out there, and constantly something that can make you money. Where if you do a cake for a client, it's a one-time thing, and you make that money once, you have to do it all over again. And so that was his reasoning and his way of talking me into doing something like this, because I was fine doing cakes for clients, and sleepless nights, really very hard. It really is. It is not the cushy life that people might think it is, just sugar and flour and throw together these cute little things. It is a lot of work, and it takes a lot of hours. And it has to be jam-packed into just a couple of days because cake has to be fresh, right? So
Right.
So yeah, cake decorators tend to kill themselves a little bit. So I thought, okay, I'll try doing something like this. Maybe try, putting together this Cake Fu website. I had no idea where to go and how to start or do anything. I'd never done anything as far as online stuff goes. Nothing. So,
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So you just went with the flow. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna go with it, hey?
Yeah, well, Mike and I sat down one night. We went out to dinner and had a sit-down chat, and he said, we've got to figure out what to do to make your website different than everybody else's. Because there were a few cake decorating websites out there that we considered, the top in the industry, ones that we wanted to compete with, or be on the same level as. Not really compete with. We don't compete with anybody, really. So, but be on that level at least. And so he's like, well, we've got to come up with some kind of an idea, something unique, something that's going to set us apart. And this idea came about that we would bring on cake decorators that are top in the industry from all over the world and have them come on, kind of like you do with Cup of Joe, and and just talk about things, talk about them, talk about their businesses and what they do, have them demonstrate something, and then promote them. And so it was something that would be really good for everybody all the way around. We would benefit by gaining the viewership and profits of sales that we produce through the trainings that we do. The instructors will gain by the exposure and the percentage of what's earned, and the viewers will gain a lot because these trainings are all free, and so they come in, they learn something, they get a discount on something, and so it's just really good all the way around for everybody. It benefits everybody equally, and it was just that one thing that nobody in the cake industry had ever even imagined doing before, and so it really, I think that really rocketed us up in the industry.
Wow, now that I think about it, I haven't really seen anything else like that out there, and of course you're going to have some followers who are going to say, hey, I can do that too, which is good, and remember, you started it all. you know.
You know, I've had a few people that have done trainings with me that will go on and do their own. And, you know, I don't have a problem with that. But, you know, they end up not being consistent like Cake Fu is because it is a lot of work. You know?
Yeah, I was saying, people don't realize what goes behind the scenes of Cup of Joe. I don't do it myself. Shout out to Rebecca. Anyway, you know, it's really tough, you know, to get everything set up. And now that I think about it, since I'm here at the hotel, I need to start calling the manager and having them at least take 80% off of my hotel room and say, hey, I'm going to do advertisement for you and talk about your hotel. So I just thought of that, Bill. I'm like, I'm going to start doing that, calling ahead of time.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
So since we got Bill on here, I want you to talk about this. You had a part on your site about hints involving a wedding cake or divorces or something like that. How you know divorces, how to predict divorces with the wedding cake. Elaborate on that for us, please.
Oh, jeez.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Well, there are some theories out there. You know, what's really interesting is my dad always had an opinion about wedding cakes, which we never were cake people, you know. It wasn't part of what we did in our family. But my dad always had this theory that the more expensive a cake was, the more expensive a wedding in general. So I guess it wasn't a cake, but the more expensive a wedding in general, the shorter the marriage would be. But okay, so I think the one that you're referring to is the way that you feed your spouse the cake. There's you know, there's tradition out there. You know, of course, you feed each other cake. And some people are very nice about it, and they'll, you know, neatly give each other cake. And some people, you know, shove it in there, you know. So yeah, I think there's this theory that if you are feeding this cake to somebody and you start shoving it in their face and getting in this food fight kind of a thing, that means that you don't really have that respect for each other in your marriage. And it may not last very long. So I don't know how true that is. You know, I tend to think that a little bit of fun, you know, a little frosting on their face, whatever. But I've heard of people getting in like knockdown fights, like they really on the floor shoving cake in each other's faces. I mean, just like, whoa.
That's kind of funny, actually.
So yeah, I don't know how true it is, but yeah, there was an idea on, somebody wrote an article about that, and I kind of ran with that a little bit.
That's hilarious. But now that you think about it, there are a lot of expensive weddings out there, and to find out some of those people come really divorced really fast, that's a good theory your father had. I like it. I really do.
You know, I think it's great to spend, you know, a decent amount of money on your wedding. You know, I think that it's a really important day. You know, it's a huge day, the biggest day of your life. But at the same time, if you're going into major debt, you know, to pull this thing together, you know, you're coming into a relationship in debt, and that's really not. You don't really want to do that, you know? It causes stress. True.
So, I saw one of your segments, and you were talking about, what was it here? The stigma on you. I don't deserve that money. I like that, by the way, and I want you to talk about that a little bit because, you know, some of our audience have issues with what the service they're providing and the pricing on top of that. So I want your input on that because I saw that I was like, you're right on with this. So let's hear a little bit of that.
Yeah, we actually called that our Oprah moment because it was, you know, you get Oprah out there and all of a sudden she has this moment of you are amazing, you know, and that's what we wanted to put across to people, you know, because I think that a lot of people, I think women especially, but this includes men too. I mean, it's really something that we don't really value ourselves and our work as much as we can and should. And in the cake industry, it's really, really prevalent. It's really a big problem. And I think that in the online industry, it can be as well. You know, I think that we tend to not value ourselves. And there is a point where we need to realize that, you know what, I am good enough. I've had, you know, X amount of years of experience, and I know more about this thing than anybody else does. You know, it's really, you know, I had a problem with that same issue for many years. You know, when I was doing cakes myself, I was not charging the amount that I should have been charging. You know, I wasn't. I was thinking, you know, I just want to make the client happy. I want to make, you know, make sure that they're okay with the price, and you know, and I was afraid to ask for what what I really was worth, because I was killing myself. I was doing so much work. I mean, I would put about 5 days worth of work, straight full days of work into a wedding cake and be charging less than $1,000. You know, and I mean, you can't work, you know, 40 hours. Sometimes these cakes take up to 70, 80 hours. You get, you know, the cake that you're charging $1,000 for, you know, and so it's the same in the online industry. I'm sure that, you know, if you aren't valuing your time, you have to, you know, you have to add that all in together. You have to really think about how much time am I really putting into this, and how much should I be doing?
Yeah, that makes sense. Before I left my job, I don't remember how many years ago that was now, there was a lady, a real friend of mine, who was starting her salon, and she was going to charge like $140 for a haircut, and it took her almost 3 hours to do her haircut. And I thought, that's not going to work out. I was like, you need to charge more, because you're only going to get probably 4 people in, maybe 3 people in a day, and that's it, for only $140. You know, so you're right. Value is so important.
You do, yeah. There definitely is something about, you know, the quality of work that you do is worth a lot, you know, and people will respect that if you actually value yourself and say, you know what, I'm worth this, I can do this, you know, that financial side of things, it'll kind of lift you up to the point where they will see that in you and know that, yeah, you are really worth that. So.
Most definitely. By the way, I want to say I'm proud of you, because I remember seeing you at the Vid Summit, and I was like, I want to see you at more events, and you were like, yeah, Lim, and I saw you at JV Zoo for a second, you know, and I'm like, wow, she's really doing it. You know? That is so awesome. How are you enjoying these events?
You know, JV Zoo is actually the second event that I've ever gone to in the marketing world, and, you know, it actually worked out perfectly, because there was actually a cake event at the same time in the same city. So I just kind of, you know, wow. I went and there was a competition out in San Diego, and I was asked to come and be a judge for the competition. And so I went out there to judge this competition. And while I was out there, it just happened that JV Zoo was at the same time, so I thought, okay, let's pop on over. So it was good. It was fun to actually meet some of the people that are in the industry that I've heard of, you know, but never have really met. You know, I don't feel like a marketer. I really don't. I don't feel like, I mean, I feel like a cake decorator who's just trying to, you know, take a little bit of that, you know.
That's a good thing, though.
Marketer, so you know, it's just kind of a really different world for me, but I am enjoying it. Lots of really cool people, lots of really smart, intelligent people. It's amazing how much you guys know.
Wow, that's awesome. And I want to apologize to everyone if you hear background noise. I'm downstairs in the lobby because my conference room got booked. Oh well, but I'm trying to be very short when I talk, so that's why I keep muting out. Um, so you do a lot of judging as well?
I do. Well, I kind of made a name for myself in the industry. I won some national awards and had a TV appearance. And so people started asking me if I would come and judge these competitions. And so, yeah, I've gone to 3 so far this year. I'll be going to another one next month and probably another one in October. So it's a lot of traveling and going and doing, especially with 6 little kids. But it's a way for me to stay in the industry and, you know, keep my name out there. So it's good.
You know, what I see for you is actually pitching a show. I know it's different.
That would be
but
cool.
More like an online marketer / what you do right now with your cakes. I know there's a lot of TV shows out there, but they don't have anything like the mix that you have, and it'd be nice to see you actually pursue something like that because we know it's possible. It can be done, right, Bill?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Trust me, it can be done. You know,
anything can be.
yeah. And what's your thoughts on that? I mean, can you imagine doing something like this and this being like a show? Because everything is all about reality TV, and I really can see something like what you're doing becoming big.
You know, it has been a thought that has crossed my mind, and Bobby's mind, my husband. He, you know, and lots of people in the industry will come to me and say, you really should have a show because you've got like all these kids and you're doing all this stuff. And I just think, oh, that would be a circus. I don't know if I can handle that. Life is stressful enough right now. I don't know. It's always, I mean, you never know. The thing about the TV industry is it's very competitive and it's very cutthroat in a way. You know, I have been on a live, not a live, but on, well, I guess it was a live competition online or on TV network.
Right.
And it was fun. I mean, I love doing it, but there definitely is a risk to doing something like that because you're putting what you do in the hands of an editor, and they can do whatever the heck they want with it, you know. And so that makes me nervous. Yeah, the idea of like putting myself out there and all of my family and, you know, all of that, and leaving whatever they want to cut in and out, you know, yeah, it's a little bit risky. But, and you know, you make a really good point there because things like this can be done online as well. You know, you don't really need to have a TV network. If you look at Seinfeld, he's doing his Cars and Coffee, you know, show. It's huge. It's huge, and it's making tons of great money. It's awesome. You know, so stuff like that can be done.
The what show?
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No. What is it called?
Oh, it's I don't remember the exact title of it, but it's getting coffee in cars or cars in coffee or something like that.
Come on, Bill. You should know this.
Seinfeld does it. Some comedians, they drive in a car to a coffee shop and they sit down and have coffee. That's what their whole episode is all about. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty interesting, and I'm like, look at Seinfeld. Is that an HBO special?
No, it's online. It's online. YouTube.
No. I've seen him on HBO as well with that.
Has he?
Yes. So yeah, he goes around. He usually He's in an old car maybe or different cars. I don't know, but yeah, he drives them, then goes to a coffee shop or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. He'll go pick up a celebrity, comedy or comedian, and they'll drive over to a coffee shop. But yeah, it does really well online. I didn't know that they were off cable at all, on HBO or anything. But yeah, so things like that can be done online just as easily.
Yes. Have you written any books or anything, or considered doing that yet?
I've had a lot of people say, you need to write a book. So I actually, I know, right? I actually have been thinking about it. I've been putting together an outline. So there may be a book very soon in the future. We'll see how that goes.
Well, consider this. People will see you online, and you're already a authority in the online world. And those moms at home who might considering starting a cake business, you can already tell your story. You have 6 kids, you have a husband, you're managing work, children, school, and an online business at the same time, offline business at the same time. That is a story itself. I mean, and that right there, I'm sure would sell like hotcakes. No pun intended, but yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I think it would do pretty well, and I think it's definitely something that I am going to be putting some effort into in the near future. So.
Because you're thinking, I don't have time to do anything else, Slim.
There are some other aspects to the website that I'm trying to get up and going right now. We're working on a launch for our marketplace. And, we already have the marketplace, but we want to bring another aspect of it that I think is really cool. So that's my main focus right now. Is doing that. That's what I'm going to do. And continuing the trainings. So yeah.
So when you do trainings, are you doing? You bring on experts as well as yourself. Do you just do sort of what I do, let them have their segment, or do you do individual training?
I do. Okay, so when I bring in a guest, we do about the same thing that we are doing right now. We do an interview at the beginning. So I will introduce our guest. We'll have a talk about what they do and things like that. And then we actually have a segment where they demonstrate a cake decorating technique for the most part. Unless it's one along the lines of doing, talking about business kind of a thing. But those ones we just talk. But a lot of times we will have an actual cake decorating demonstration where they will teach a technique. That has been a bit challenging. We started doing this several years ago before Google Hangouts was even a thing, and so we tried lots of different things. We actually started out with slides, with like slides of pictures of the demonstrations that they did. So I'd have them send 10 to 20 pictures of your process, and so then we would throw up a slide and then have them explain what was in that slide. And it worked okay, but it was so nice to have something like the Google Hangouts come along, because it really did bring, it brought everything together into where they could see us, they could see a live demonstration, and it really was great. It was, yeah. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So with the cake industry, I know you have a lot of stressful people who are about to get married, and they're just, oh my gosh, they're worried. And how many? Let's just probably just say, how many bad stories do you have? I'm sure you've had some angry customers in the past.
Okay, so luckily I haven't had very many.
Oh wow, that is so awesome.
I feel blessed that I haven't had very many, but I have had an instance where someone asked for a champagne colored cake, And when I delivered it, they seemed fine with it. After everything was over, they gave me a phone call and said that was not champagne colored. And I want a discount because, you know, it just was the wrong color. And it just ruined the whole thing. You know? You know, so I have had a major disaster. When you're working with cakes, you know, you make them in your, you know, kitchen, in your workspace, and then you have to deliver that cake. And that right there is the most stressful part of the whole thing. Because, I mean, you get on the road, and you never know what's going to happen on the road. So there was one time that I had a cake and I had to run home, decorate a piece of styrofoam, and deliver that to the wedding because, you know, I didn't have anything else, you know. So it was one of those things that, you know, you don't really have a backup plan when you do cakes. You really don't. I mean, it's just, you just gotta fly by the seat of your pants sometimes and just get it there and hope that, you know, say a prayer, hope it gets there. Yeah. And, you know, yeah, I honestly haven't had very many stories myself as far as bridezillas because they are out there, but I hear them all the time through other cake decorators. So
that is awesome. Bill, I just thought of something here, and I love when I talk to people, it just comes to me. So you would say that transferring a cake from place to place is like one of the most stressful things, right? There needs to be some type of device that you can transfer a cake and have no worries. And can you imagine the dollar sign you put on that for cake in the cake industry? People would just jump all over that. Is there anything such thing as that out there?
There actually are a couple of things. They are a little bit limited though, because if you have a cake, there's one that it's like a box, and then there's a support that goes all the way through the cake. And you know, it's a really great tool, wonderful, wonderful. But if you have a cake that has a different kind of structure to it, you know, some of these cakes are sculpted. They are, I mean, I think the most stressful cake I ever delivered was it was like a 5-foot tall cake. It was a bunch of TVs stacked on top of each other, and you know, something like that you're not going to be able to fit in a box. You know, so
I know.
There are some of those in there that, you know, some of those products out there that do that, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a way that you could. I mean, I've thought about, you know, different systems that you can create for like the back of your vehicle, even not just for the cake, but the whole back of your vehicle. Something that, you know,
yes,
or something like that. You know, something that would be like, yeah, this is like the cushioned, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Hey, you're on to something, trust me, because there's got to be something that can be built for specialty cakes that are actually from wee small to 5 feet tall. So, wow, you need to keep thinking about that, because you know what? That right there is a winner. I'm thinking, man, if that's not in the industry, and there's a lot of cake, you know, chefs and all those that are out there who want to do what you're doing, they need it. You know what I mean? Because they're going through the same issue as you are. So that's how ideas are made. Somebody's like, I'm tired of this. This is what I'm going to build.
Yep, exactly. That's how it works.
Awesome. For those who are watching right now, I promised you something in the email that Bill had no idea what we were doing today. Bill, we're going to give away something to some of our lucky winners. What do you think we should give? Should we give one software away today?
I think that sounds good. We'll give a software away.
We haven't done anything like this in a while.
I think in a while.
And I knew we were talking sweets today, so I wanted to give a sweet deal out to someone. So I will tell you guys when to message me to see if you're a winner of the software, but we're going to continue on here. So just for those who are watching going, when are they going to say it? I just want to mention that. So Amelia, tell us, what is the future for Cake Food? What are you going to be adding anything new to your space, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, well, right now, in the cake industry, there are a lot of instructors that are starting to do online teaching, and they, have their YouTube channels. They have their, video tutorials and written tutorials, things like that, that they have out there that they're trying to sell, to the industry. What I'm trying to do right now, which I'm working on currently, something that I hope that we can get launched really soon, is something that will bring all of these people together into one place, where we can have people say, I want to learn something with cake decorating. Let's run over to Cake Foods Marketplace, see what kind of tutorials are out there. And so it'll be something where all of the cake decorators, that are out there teaching online can come to Cake Food, put their things on our website, and kind of share in the in the people that they've already gained, as far as followers and things like that. So that's what we're trying to put together right now. Is something that everybody can come and kind of get something from our marketplace and promote all of the other creators that are out there doing, the online tutorials and things. So.
That is awesome. It's really neat that you have the cake niche going on, niche, and I'm sure everybody's out there thinking, all these people in the last few cup of joes with these simple niches, niches out there, and it's great to see that cake is one of your things. I was thinking possibly that you could actually reach out to some of these people that are well known, but they really don't do anything online, and get them going. Have a fee. This is what you need. You need a website. You need a YouTube channel. You need your Facebook going on. You need all this connected. You would be like the go-to guide, or girl, I should say, as far as getting their stuff up and running. And the great thing about it is you don't have to do it by yourself. You can find someone to help you. And I think you would be the perfect solution to that.
That's a really great idea. There are so many talented cake decorators out there, and a lot of them should be putting up tutorials and things like that and sharing their knowledge. So I think that's a great idea.
Yep, because I'm sure they love for people in their area, or I'm sure you get calls from different states or whatever. I'm sure that'll be kind of dumb because you would have to transport it somewhere. But I think they would get it, though, if they understood what you were doing, and if they really wanted to be on the market and put their stuff out there, it would be a must for anyone, because that's normal business,
Yeah, it's true. Very true. I like that idea of actually finding, people that aren't doing this and bringing them into it. That's a great idea.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, this has been awesome. Wow. Cake. How about that? It's so great.
Yes, my husband says all the time that he's kind of in the industry a little bit. He works for Mike, and so he watches things all the time, and he says, you know what? You're kind of unique in the way that you are catering to people that aren't in the industry. There are a lot of people out there that are doing internet marketing, and they're marketing to internet marketers, and so picking a niche instead of, just the internet marketing is really a really smart way to go, because you've got a whole new group of people that you can cater to. So.
That is so true. How can people find you for more information, or someone might want to start doing what you're doing or need help? How can they find you?
Cakefood.com is my website. Email address is just Amelia@Cakefoo, easy. And then you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. I think it's Amelia Cakefoo is what it's called. So, or Cakefoo Amelia. I should.
That is,
One or the other.
girl, you sound like me sometimes. Like, I don't know, Joe a cup, something like that. Start to cup Joe.
Something like that.
Oh my goodness, that is so awesome. Before we get off of here, I want to let everyone know that Bill agreed to go ahead and give away one software. So what you have to do is tell me in a message, the first person who can tell me the message is what was the main issue of cakes that we discussed and the idea that I thought we could have came up with. So you have to like message me like right now. If you don't have the software, we're going to get you in. So there you go. I'm not going to make it hard for you. Now you got to scroll back and remember what we were talking about.
That's funny.
Awesome. Well, Amelia, thank you so much for joining us. I know you had to get up extra early. And I know you have the house full of boys and that sweet little girl, and I know it's just awesome. It's an inspiration to see you do what you do, and we have another Vid Summit coming up, by the way. Are you going to participate in that as well?
I believe we're helping. Yeah, that's great. I love Big Summit. I mean, it's great. It really gave me so much information. Loved it. So yeah, I'll be going.
Awesome. Well, give my love to your kids and tell Bobby I said hello. And wow, it's been great. And thank you so much. And I hear my Facebook going off on my phone because I don't have it on my computer. But it's going off now. And we're going to have a lucky winner, or we might have some haters going out there saying, really? You're giving this away for free today? Oh my goodness. Well, I will be checking back with you probably in the next 7 months just to see what you have going on, and hopefully have I know you will have bigger and better things going on. And thank you once again for joining us. Bill, you have anything?
Oh, no, that's pretty much it. Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah. No, that's awesome. It's creativity at its finest.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. Well, for those out there who wants to go to watch the replay, go to SaturdayCupOfJoe.com/live, and you'll see the replay of this broadcast. And if you also want to, if you have any questions, go to the side of the website. It will be over there. And you can usually use a microphone that says SpeakPipe and tell us what you think about the show. Let us know if you have any ways to make this better. Boy, that phone is going off. I'm getting a lot of messages anyway. Once again, Amelia, thank you so much. We'll see you in the future, and guys, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye.